Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin. Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. I know it's really late. Had one person pop in and pop out. Where'd you go, man? Where'd you go? Anyways, thanks for joining me. Let me see here. Thanks for joining me tonight. As you can tell, a little something different happened up here. I had about 5 cysts kind of piled up around my head. And 2 of them were going larger, and the doctor's like, "Hey, we got to get rid of these before they keep growing, and then we can't." This guy keeps popping in and out. What's up, dude? Stay. Don't just pop in and out. Stay here. I can see who comes on and who doesn't. Anyways, guys. So first of all, let me know if my volume is okay. Because I know this microphone's a little weird. But anyways, so. Yeah, they removed some cysts on my head, and it's perfectly fine. There's nothing cancerous about them. They just needed to remove them. And he said he was going to shave back some of my hair. I didn't know he was going to shave the whole dang thing off. But yeah, so this is me right now. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I keep the look? Should I shave more off and keep the look of going bald? I don't know. But anyways, let's start the show. So. The whole reason for this live show is because if you guys have been following me for the past even couple months, then you know that I've did a live show, or not a live show, but I did an interview with Vinegar Syndrome, with Oscar, who's the head of their film archive, and of Joe, who is the co-owner of Vinegar Syndrome. Awesome interview. If you guys haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's in the playlist under interviews, I think. But you can find it on my channel. By the way, before we get more into this, leave any comments or questions in the comments section, and I'll answer them and anything and everything. But afterwards, the whole reason behind the interview is because they saw my channel. I didn't reach out to them. They reached out to me, which is awesome. And they were so impressed by my channel and how I put together the comparison reviews of 4K versus Blu-ray comparisons, to the point where they even said that they've seen some others, and most channels just put 2 images together of music. They don't give any kind of review about it, and so they liked it that I give reviews of it, like a commentary over them. Anyways, they really liked it, to the point where they said they were going to put me on the press list, which they do not do for everyone because they have such a limited amount of stock available. So they don't just do this for anyone. But they said they're going to add me to the press list, which was awesome. I didn't hear back from them for a month until I got an email last night from Oscar personally, who said that he sent out 2 exclusive movies for us to compare and review, and he spent money out of his own pocket to ship them overnight to me, which is awesome. They said they wanted to get these out to me before they hit the streets and before anybody else has them in their hand. So here's the box right here, Vinegar Syndrome box. I want to thank Oscar for sending these out to me, especially paying out of his own pocket to ship them overnight. That's freaking awesome. I'm going to get to this in a second. But first, I have a couple other unboxings here that I want to do real quick. But yeah, leave your comments, questions in the comment section. I'll get to them. In fact, there's a little overlay right here, and your comments will come up right there. So yeah, leave all your comments and questions, and I'll get to them. First of all, guys, let me know if there's any. What are you guys looking forward to the most in the next couple months as far as physical media? I want to know that. Let's see here. Dude McMahon says, "Hey, can't stay long. Have you ever done a dead and buried Blu-ray under?" I did. No, wait, I didn't do a comparison because I didn't have the Blu-ray, but I did do a review of it. Just not a comparison. I've been wanting to do a comparison of that, but I just don't have the previous Blu-ray release. That's the only problem. But I've had some people who have actually asked about some comparison reviews they wanted me to do. And I've said, hey, you know what? If you've got them, send them to me. Or if you're able to, you can donate the money for me to buy it, and I'll be happy to review them. And I've had some people take me up on that and do that. You can go to my Ko-fi link, which is in the description or wherever on my YouTube channel, and that way you can send a little tip or donation or whatever. And so if there's any requests that you want to do that I don't have the Blu-ray or 4K of, I'll be happy to pick them up and do them. And like I said, I've had some people actually do this with me the past couple on some comparison reviews. One that title that I'm really looking forward to is Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Finally getting a 4K release. I believe it comes out in July. Twister is getting a fantastic 4K release. That thing, I don't know if you guys have seen any images from it, or Warner Brothers put up a trailer, 4K trailer. It looks incredible. And I remember I saw that movie more than a few times in the theater, and I distinctly remember green, because that was kind of the thing that if the sky goes green, that's when you know Twister's coming. And on the Blu-ray, never had really that greenish color that I remember in the theater. The 4K now has that. The 4K now has that. So I cannot wait for the 4K to come out. Dude McMahon says, I never upgraded, but would be happy to send you my old one if I do. Yeah, absolutely, man. The 4K is awesome. I mean, I was blown away. Blue Underground is one of my favorite domestic boutique labels. They do just outstanding work. And it's like, no matter what 4K they release, you know there's going to be top tier. You know they're gonna do a great job with it. A second here. And yeah, so definitely pick it up if you can. I'm going to enlarge my screen so I can read the comments better. But yeah, let me know, guys. Are you looking forward to Twister, Nightmare on Elm Street? And Twister is coming with a new Dolby Atmos track. That thing is going to be bonkers. That thing is going to be a banger 4K. Cannot wait to get it. There's a problem I'm having, though, with my how I do my 4K. I pull the images from my 4K from the 4K discs because, every now and then studios will update their copy protection. And it looks like that's what Warner Brothers has done, because I have had American Sniper, and there was another one from Warner Brothers I tried to pull images from, and it was just a blank screen. So I'm hoping, praying to the physical media gods that that my software will update and will be able to bypass that copy protection. Otherwise, if they don't, I don't know if I can find another software or what can be done. Maybe I can contact Warner Brothers since I work with them, and maybe they can send some images. I don't know. Let's see. Dude McMahon says, yeah, I can't wait for High Crimes. That thing's going to look awesome, I'm sure. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I requested that to review last month. I cannot wait to get that thing. One thing I did get today, this is one of my all-time favorite vampire movies, is Near Dark. Love this movie ever since I saw it when it came out. This is now Lionsgate, I believe, released this in the United States, and then it quickly went out of print, and it hasn't been in print ever since. And I think it's because they lost domestic rights to it. So this is the German release, and I heard it's gorgeous. I haven't looked at it yet, but I heard that the video quality is just gorgeous, and that the 5.1 sound is great too. Second Sight, a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago, they hinted at a 4K of this. So where is it, Second Sight? Where's it go? Where is it? Where you been? Because they announced this along with The Hitcher almost 2 years ago. And The Hitcher's coming out pretty soon. They're almost done with it, but I haven't heard anything about Near Dark yet. So but I had to pick this up because this is one of my favorite vampire movies. And then I can do a 4K versus Blu-ray comparison of this when it comes out. Hey, Zed, what's going on, man? Glad you can join us. Join us, not me. I mean, join me, not us. Good to see you here. I got a couple things in from Kino Lorber. I partnered up with them a couple months ago. They sent me High Noon. I did a Blu-ray versus 4K comparison of that. Check that out if you haven't, because that's amazing. If you've ever had anybody say that 4K doesn't matter for a black and white movie or for an older movie, show them that comparison, because there is a huge difference there. But this came out May 21st from Kino Lorber, and that is Big Man on Campus. This is a 1989 comedy. I don't know if anyone out there has seen it. I remember seeing it when it came out on video. It's like a modern day take of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. In fact, it's called The Hunchback. The subtext is Hunchback of UCLA. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. So I'm glad that Kino Lorber sent this to me. And this one I have not opened yet, so we're going to open this one and see what's in it. I'm not sure what's in it. Sometimes these places like MVD will send me a list inside the box of release dates and information about the release. And then there's other studios that don't. They just send the movie without any information. So that's something that Kino Lorber does, is they kind of just send things. Yeah, Zed, it's a fun one. That's definitely a fun one. You got to check it out. It's a good one. Oh, this is the original. Oh, cool. I don't know if you guys have seen The Killing, the miniseries, The Killing, not miniseries, but the series The Killing that came out more than a couple years ago on AMC. Fantastic, fantastic show. That was based on a Danish show, and Kino Lorber has released it on DVD. So they sent me the original Danish series. I think it's just 2 seasons. But this is from Kino Lorber. I'm not sure what date this comes out, and I'm not sure if it's out yet or if it's coming out next couple of weeks. It's on DVD only, though. I wish I had it on Blu-ray, but hey, whatever. Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing about Kino Lorber, is that they don't send information to me about the product they sent me or release date. So it's like I kind of have to do my own research when it's coming out. I don't know, but if any of you guys know when this is coming out, let me know. But yeah, it's a complete series, the original Danish version. I've always wanted to see the original series, because the American series was phenomenal. I loved it. If you guys haven't seen the American version of this, definitely check it out. I'm sure AMC Plus still has it on their website or on their app. But yeah, it's phenomenal. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's get to it. Ready? Are you ready to open up this? Let's open it up. Zedzilla says Zed loves a good box set. That's awesome. Yeah, I love box sets. Oh, yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, so first up, we have the 4K and Blu-ray release of China O'Brien. This is China O'Brien 1, China O'Brien 2. Never seen these movies. I've always heard about them. I have no idea. They look like good, bad fun, if that makes sense. So there's the artwork. Let's take a closer look here. Oh, this is some nice artwork. So let me know, guys, if I need to zoom in a little bit more for you to check this artwork out or not. But this is pretty cool. This comes out, I believe, May 28th from Vinegar Syndrome. So next Tuesday, part of their halfway to Black Friday sale. Now, I know Eureka came out with a 4K version last month, I believe. And from what I'm being told by Oscar, they did work with the same 4K scan that Eureka worked with, except they did a new restoration off that scan and their own color grading. And I'm trying to get a hold of a copy of the 4K from Eureka, so we can do a 4K versus 4K comparison to compare the difference there between Eureka and Vinegar Syndrome. That'd be kind of a cool case study to do. So I'm trying to talk to a friend of mine, Chris, trying to see if he has it and send it to me, which would be awesome if he did. So here is the disc. So you have the 4Ks of part 1, part 2, and then the Blu-rays part 1, part 2. And if you're familiar with Vinegar Syndrome, you know they put a ton of special features on their discs. Like they put everything on their discs. It comes with a really nice booklet here. Again, this is a first-time watch for me. I have never seen these movies. I've always heard about them, but I've never seen them. All I know is they're kind of like Cynthia. What's her name? Now the name escapes me. That figures. Oh man, I can't believe that the name escapes me. Anyways, the actress that stars in this. Yeah, this is like a low budget kind of indie martial arts, I guess you could say, movie. It looks like, honestly, they don't look like great movies, but they look like a lot of fun movies, like fun to watch movies. So definitely can't wait to check that out. But now here's the real thing. Here it is, guys. Here's the real deal, and that is their new Vinegar Syndrome Ultra Edition Navy SEALs. Guys, Navy SEALs. Look at this artwork. Absolutely love this artwork here, guys. This is freaking awesome. Now, I do have the Blu-ray to this somewhere on over here. So definitely we'll be doing a 4K versus Blu-ray comparison of this, but let's just take a closer look at the artwork. Do I need to zoom in, guys? Let me know if I need to zoom in to check out if you can see the artwork okay. Let me know, please, and then we'll zoom in the camera. But we're going to open this bad boy up. So there's the inside, playing golf. What I love about these VSU series is they have a magnetic strip there. So it's magnetically closes and opens, which is awesome. They always have this mark thing so you can pull up the movie easy. Here is the exclusive slipcover, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Navy SEALs. I'll just say this, that when the director and the actors, the cast, this owns the movie, that kind of tells you about the movie. But it's also a lot of fun. It's one of those where it's not real particularly a great movie, but it's a fun movie to watch. So here is the discs. And then, of course, we always have reversible artwork. So you have the newly commissioned artwork for this release, and then you have the original MGM artwork. And I always like to put the original in here, especially if the slipcover has the new one. That way you kind of get best of both worlds. So there's the original artwork. I actually think that kind of looks cool, like that. And what I love about the slipcover here, it's more like a box than a cover. It's like really sturdy, heavy paper. Boner Lee, hey, what's up? I like 4K, but sometimes I feel it's just so dark and makes some of the special effects look worse. What are your thoughts on that? That also depends on your TV settings, because what happens is the HDR, yes, it can kind of slightly make the image a little bit darker, but it's for the benefit of the movie because it actually draws out more details and more nuances in the image. But you also have to set your TV settings, because if you're just using the manufacturer auto settings, you're not going to get the full benefit of it. You need to actually manually change the settings on your TV to match your environment. So if you have a bright environment, it's not going to look as good compared to having a dark environment. So you need to change your settings. So that's one thing that I've noticed that people need to do is understand their settings on their TV and change it. But if it's a dark movie, like if it's like Heat, for example, a lot of the movie takes place late at night. And so it was filmed with specific cameras for that. And the HDR, since it does slightly darken the image a little bit, it looks even darker on the 4K. And I've heard some people say that the image is so dark they can barely see what's going on. Sometimes that is true. Sometimes they can overdo the HDR grading. And then other times not. But it should match the environment if it's done right. I mean, it honestly just depends on how well they did the HDR grading. So it's not really the 4K; it's the HDR grading. But usually places like Vinegar Syndrome, Kino Lorber, Shot Factory, they do it right. They do their HDR grading correctly, and I never worry about that. Major studios, it just depends on who's doing it, who's doing the work behind the scenes, and if they care and if they understand how to do it correctly, or if they don't. That's really what it comes down to. And then, but yeah, definitely check out your TV settings and try to mess around with it, see how it works with the environment your TV is in, because that could work too. Here is the booklet for Navy SEALs. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, China O'Brien and Navy SEALs is released. I believe it's hang on there. I believe it's next week with their halfway to Black Friday sale. So cannot wait to dig into these this weekend. I absolutely, again, guys, I love this artwork. This artwork is just so cool. Look at that artwork. It's just fantastic artwork there. Yeah, they did a nice job with that artwork. And so a lot of these, like I know there's I believe there's some exclusives on this that the Eureka version does not have. But of course, there's a lot of nice special features on Navy SEALs that nobody has, since it's let me see what it has here. So it has it's got a bunch of like a new audio commentary track by Film Historian. It has a new making of, new interviews. So it's got a lot of good extra features on this that are always great to watch. Especially if you're into filmmaking on any kind of level, commentaries and interviews are always great to watch. Especially with these older movies and how they used to, the stuff that they used to have to go through because they didn't have technology that we have today. It's insane, some of the stuff they did practically, especially in this movie with all the explosions and gunfire and all the crazy stuff that went on in the movie. It's insane that when you look back on it and how much stuff they did practically. And China O'Brien, like I said, I haven't seen it, but I hear there's some crazy stunts in this. Let me know, guys, if you plan on picking any one of these up. Have you ordered either one of these? Let me know. As usual, though, with VSU series, they always, in about a couple months, they always come out with just the just the standard disc version, not this box set. So you still get everything on the 4K disc. You just don't get the box set or the booklet or the nice slipcover that comes with it. So if you just don't have the money to shell out to buy this, I think it's like $50, $45, somewhere around there. If you wait just a couple more months, it comes out as just a standard disc for like $25 or $30. This probably won't because it's two movies. But so that's it. I want to definitely thank Oscar and Joe from Vinegar Syndrome for saying this to me. This is awesome. Well, guys, I definitely know what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Going to be start pulling images off these 4K discs and start working on them, comparing them. All right, let's get into some questions, comments, or questions. I'm thirsty and I forgot to bring in a drink. Zed, I loved it. I mean, that was just awesome. I wish that there was a little bit more to show you guys, but that's about it. Did any of you guys pick up joysticks from MVD? This was sent to me almost a month ago, and I'm just now getting around to it. What I love what Eric and his team did at MVD is how the artwork looks like an old Atari cartridge. It's pretty cool. I haven't seen the movie. I mean, I did see the movie. I watched it the other night. It's just your standard, like, early 80s teen raunchy movie comedy. But it's hot in here. But I do have the original DVD, and so I'm going to be doing a Blu-ray versus DVD comparison of this. And can't wait to dig into Big Man on Canvas. I haven't seen this probably since it came out on video in the late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, Zed, I just love the packaging on both of those, on all of this stuff. I mean, these boutique studios, they go all out on their packaging, all the special features, a lot of these people like Eric at MVD, and I've been working with MVD for probably about 5 years now, and I've gotten to know some of the people over there, and they are literally not just good people, Zed, but they are literally just as big physical media fans as we are. And so what we want, we expect from physical media, they deliver 100%. Boner Lee says, have you heard any more about the Hitcher coming to 4K? I know Second Sight is doing it, but they had posted that another company had to okay the transfer. So a U.S. company must be releasing as well. Nope. A U.S. company is not releasing it, not anytime soon that I know of. As far as I know, a domestic rights hasn't been established yet. As far as from what I've heard, Second Sight, from what I've heard, is the only one that has the rights to it. What they are talking about, as far as another company has to okay the transfer, is not a company that's releasing it, but the company that sent them the negatives and who's working with them for distribution. So they want to, they want everybody to be on the same page, and that's really what they're talking about. The director, you've probably seen the photos that Second Sight has put out on their Twitter page, where the director is actually there in front of the monitors. He has hands-on. He's doing this hands-on supervision of the Hitcher. So this is going to be great with the Hitcher. But yeah, as far as I know, no domestic U.S. company has the rights to it yet. And I even if they did, I would still buy from Second Sight, because they're going to do, I don't have it here with me. Hang on, let me see if I can grab it. Hold on. So if a domestic U.S. company releases it, we're going to get something like this, right? Just something like this. Second Sight, they deliver the goods. They're going to be delivering it in a nice box set like this. They're going to be delivering it with a nice book, all the extras, all the bells and whistles. So even if there's a domestic release, I'm still sticking with the Second Sight release, because I know they're going to deliver the goods. And we don't know, too, because a lot of times what's happened, too, is they will take a domestic company studio will take the scan that another company worked on, and then they regrade the coloring where it's different than what it should be. So I'm trusting Second Sight. I don't care what other companies putting it out. I'm always going to go with Second Sight, especially with the Hitcher. Zilla says, are you familiar as to when the black and white version of Godzilla 1 is to be released? I don't even know when it's going to be released here domestically. I think it's already been released in Japan. I've heard people say that the company doesn't want to interfere with the new Godzilla movie. I think that's, they don't want them to be released at the same time. I don't buy that, honestly, because I don't think that really matters. I think they're just getting a domestic. I think it's just a domestic rights issue, and who wants to distribute it. Last thing I did hear, and this is just a rumor, no confirmation on it, and I pray this isn't happening, but last thing I heard is that Amazon is buying distribution, and they're going to do it as an Amazon Prime exclusive, which I hope not, because we want Godzilla -1 on physical media on a 4K. And I really hope that if man, I hope that doesn't happen, because I want the physical disc, right? We want the physical disc. We don't want to deal with streaming. But I hope that if it does get a physical release, that they do include the black and white version. That's the way I saw it in the theater, was black and white. I didn't see the color. And dude, I gotta tell you, that movie looked like it was tailor made for black and white. And the music sounded like in the 60s. I mean, it felt like I was watching a movie back in the 60s. It was fantastic. So I'm hoping that they release Godzilla Minus One on 4K physical disc here and not just stream it. That would really suck. Boner, he said, I'd really like an upgrade to the Revenge of the Nerds movies. I have the 4-movie DVD pack, and I have the first on Blu-ray, but these are classics, need an upgrade bad. Yeah. I mean, what I don't like is like a lot of these companies like Warner Brothers, like for instance, Nightmare on Elm Street. Everybody wants all, 5 movies, 6 movies, 7 movies on 4K, and they all need upgrades, but they usually only do the first movie. I don't know why. And so if that's the problem, like with Revenge of the Nerds, if they do an upgrade with Revenge of the Nerds, I guarantee you it's just going to be the first movie and not the sequels that will get the 4K upgrade. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, it probably has to do with money, that they probably think that the sequels aren't going to make sell as well as the original movie, which is probably true. But come on, guys. If it's like Die Hard, when they released Die Hard on 4K, they've only released the first one. They didn't release the second one. They didn't release the third one. I mean, I would love for Die Hard with Vengeance to get a 4K. That desperately needs an upgrade. Let's see. Zedzilla says, I want that puppy on DVD. Yeah, right. 4K disc. It needs it. It needs it. I hope. I mean, they have it in Japan. The only problem with the Japan release of Godzilla Minus One is there's no English subtitles. If it had an English subtitles on the Japan release, I would buy that. Yeah, that looks like a fantastic release, but they don't. So I don't know. I have no idea what's going on right now. I've tried to email a couple of people that I know and ask them, and they said they really don't know what's going on with the Godzilla release. Zed says Zed never knew Revenge of the Nerds had sequels. Yeah, how many sequels it had? I know at least 2, right? Boner Lee, how many was it? 4? Yeah, I have the 4-movie DVD pack. So there was 4 Revenge of the Nerds movies, right? So 3 sequels. As I know, I know there was Revenge of the Nerds 2 and Revenge of the Nerds 3. I wasn't sure about the 4th one. What's really cool too, guys, total 4, yeah. What's really cool, guys, is I've kind of gotten in bed with a lot of these companies. Where is it? I can't find it. I can't find it. Anyways, Ghoulies 2 is coming on 4K from MVD in July. Eric contacted me and he sent me he's going to be sending me an early, like extra early 4K of that to do a comparison, and so I can't wait to do that one. And so it's pretty cool. I worked really hard on this channel. I've worked really hard making contacts and getting to where I'm at right now, and it's finally paying off after 6 years, so it feels pretty good. Sometimes when I talk about this and like when I post it on, I'm always not afraid, but I'm always hesitant on posting these type of things on social media, because I always feel kind of like a douchebag. Like, look at me, look what I got. Look what I got from Vinegar Syndrome and you didn't. But then I have friends tell me, no, man, because you earned it, so own it. But yeah, that's why sometimes I don't post things on social media. But I decided, let's do this live show and unbox this. Let's do a live unboxing. Boner Lee says we need Ghoulies 3. I'm thinking it will be a Vestron release if they ever do. I think they did, or is it just got a DVD release, right? That's one I actually never seen. I've never seen Ghoulies 3. Zedzilla says, "Look at ya. That's pretty sick. That's a beautiful goddamn thing. Never am I trying to get Warner Brothers. I actually, what's pretty cool is Warner Brothers reached out to me the other day because I've been reviewing for them for almost a year now, and another area of Warner Brothers, like a different department of Warner Brothers Home Media, reached out to me and asked if I wanted to sign up under them for like some exclusive releases. I was like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? So I'm under two banners now of Warner Brothers. So I've got under my belt, I've got MVD, Warner Brothers, Sony. Once in a while, I get something from Universal, but rarely. Vinegar Syndrome, Second Sight. So yeah, it's keeping me busy. The one thing though is that, and Kino Lorber. One thing though is that I keep getting stuff in, and it does start getting overwhelming because I want to get the reviews out, and it takes time to do these comparison reviews, guys, because like a 2-hour movie, I'm scrubbing through the Blu-ray and scrubbing through the 4K for 2 hours. So that's 4 hours scrubbing through the movies, pulling and grabbing images I think will look good for the video and will stand out. And then I have to write the review. I have to shoot it. There's a lot of times too where I've gone back and actually been like, wait a minute, this doesn't look quite right. Is this right? Because it looks so different between the Blu-ray and the 4K that I actually go and put two 4K TV side by side to really make sure that what I'm seeing is right. So it takes a lot of work. I would say 1 2-hour movie takes a good week to get it all done. Pulling the images, comparing them, looking at them, doing the review, shooting it, editing it, uploading it. So it's a lot of work. It's like a full-time job. But I like it. I love doing it. It's fun to do. Zedzilla says, I've been trying to get Warner Brothers to send Zed a 4K copy of Meg 2, The Trench. That's gone though. They don't even have any more to send out. You got to buy that. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Bon Release says, what did you think of the weird science from Arrow? I have the Blu-ray from them, but all the reviews I've seen says the grain is awful. What do you mean by the grain is awful? Do you mean it's too heavy? So here's the thing. First of all, that Blu-ray from Arrow Video is sourced from the exact same 4K master as the UHD is. So they're both the same master, both sourced from the same master. So the only difference is that it's not 2160p with the higher resolution or HDR. So I think that what people are seeing is because of the higher resolution, you're probably noticing the grain more. But this is the one thing with the grain that kind of bugs me, and that people keep going back and forth on this with the grain levels. It's like, first of all, nobody wants a studio to take out all the grain, right? Because it smooths out the image and makes things looks waxy. But there's some movies where they leave in the grain and it's really heavy, inherently heavy. So what are they supposed to do? So like, I mean, I prefer it as it is, how it was shot, how it was meant to be seen. Movies in the 80s were grainy because of the film stock. Movies in the 70s were grainy because of the film stock. It's inherited. So what you see is how it was shot. It was baked into the negative. I have the 4K to Weird Science. It's not awful. It's not terrible. The only thing I would say between the two is if you want to save a couple extra bucks, stay with the Blu-ray. But if you want a nice, crisp UHD picture, buy the 4K. They both look great. I don't have a problem with the grain level at all. It does not look awful or terrible. Yeah, I mean, I think people get way too picky about grain field. I really do. I mean, first of all, there's always some kind of grain management done on every movie, on any level. Even movies that are out in theaters, they have some grain management to them. But yeah, all the grain management that you see from these older movies from like the 70s, 80s, they're all baked into the negative. They're inherited. So the only way they could get rid of it or make it look better is to do grain management, which I said earlier, smoothing out the image, which everyone has a fit about because it makes the image look a little waxy, like Once Upon a Time in the West. They did grain management on that, and people don't like it because it looks a little waxy. But to me, Once Upon a Time in the West, the problem with Once Upon a Time in the West to me isn't the grain management. It's the lack of putting it on a larger disc for better bit rate. That's the problem with Once Upon a Time in the West that a lot of people are dismissing and not noticing, because you can see the compression in Once Upon a Time in the West. It still looks great. It looks the best it's ever looked. I've never seen it look this great before. I highly recommend it still, but they put it on I think a 50 or 60 gigabyte disc, and the bit rate never goes above 50. So they compressed it, and that's the problem with Once Upon a Time in the West. If they had it on a 100 gigabyte disc and had the bit rate up in the 80s and 90s, oh man, it would look amazing. It would look sweet. But yeah, don't be afraid of. I would say don't be afraid of Weird Science 4K. I've heard nothing but great things. Also, honestly, man, don't pay attention to Reddit threads or like Facebook groups, because these are people that are, you don't know what kind of TV they're watching it on, what settings, what they're watching it on. You don't know. And so what may not look good on their TV from their perspective may look great on your TV. That's the problem right there with listening to these groups and Reddit groups and threads and Facebook groups and stuff like that. Is that what the people you want to actually depend on? And the people I go to is Bill Hunt from the Digital Bits, High Def, I think it's High Def Digest, Richard Harris. Those are the people you want to go to for an honest review, because they know what they're talking about. They know what they're looking at. They understand the format. They're not just some, average Joe sitting in his mom's basement watching a movie. They really know their stuff. And that's the people that I go to if I want to know how good a 4K is, or if is it worth buying? I'll go. First place I go to is Bill Hunt at Digital Bits. He's awesome. He's been doing it for like 30 years now. So I always give Bill a huge shout out because does great work. Richard Harris, he has actually worked in the home media division. He has a lot of experience. So yeah. And Boner Lee says, that's why I appreciate what you do so much. I always watch your comparisons. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Like I said, it's a lot of hard work doing those comparisons. And I try to give, honest, I always try to give honest opinions based on how it looks. And I know some people have gotten upset with me, especially with True Lies. I got raked over the coals with True Lies. People even telling me to go kill myself. It's just ridiculous. But it's because I didn't give it a bad rating. I didn't give it a good rating. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. That's not a good rating. That's an okay rating. That's an average rating. But what I brought in that video is that the reasons why it looks the way it looks. That's all. I was just bringing out the reasons why it looks the way it looks, and people didn't like what I had to say, I guess, and they blew up on me. But that's the thing is that I always say to people is, okay, well, if it has real heavy grain structure, why does it have real heavy grain structure? If it has some waxiness or some smoothness, why is that? Why does the image look the way it looks? Don't just have this knee-jerk reaction saying they, effed up the transfer, or they don't know what they're doing, or this director or this studio effed up the movie. No director wants to F up their own movie. So that's the whole point, is why does it look the way it looks? And that's one thing that I do. Like, if something looks the way it looks, like with True Lies, well, why does it look so smoothed out? Why does it look that way? So what did I do? I did research. And I found out why it looks the way it looks. I reached out to people that I know in the industry and asked them if they knew why it looks. And I have a friend that worked on the transfer, and he told me why it looks that way. So that's one thing that I have a real thing against of, your average reviewer, like on Reddit threads or Facebook groups or things like that, is that they have this immediate knee-jerk reaction to just crap all over the 4K immediately without giving any consideration about why it looks the way it looks. There's a lot of problems that you see is based and is inherited on the negative. It's not, and they're, sometimes they can only do as much as they can do. Born Release says, I picked up the basket case 4K from Arrow. I was shocked how good it looked compared to Blu-ray. Yeah, I have that too. It's here somewhere. I've been wanting to do here it is. I've been wanting to do a comparison of this between that and the Blu-ray. I still have the Blu-ray. There's the Blu-ray. So I've been holding off, but then I keep getting other stuff coming in that I need to do because, if studios are sending you movies, you want to get those done first. So I kind of wait till those die down, and then I do ones that I want to do, like Basket Case, Kill the Clowns from Outer Space. I have the Blu-ray. I've got the 4K as well. I've been holding off on doing that. Super Mario Brothers. I have the 4K of that from Umbrella, and a friend of mine from Norway sent me the Second Sight Blu-ray. So I'm starting to, I want to work on that one as well. So I got you see it, you don't see it. It's out of frame. I've got 2 big boxes sitting here next to me full of 4Ks and Blu-rays that I have organized of working on. So yeah, this is a full-time job that I'm not getting paid for. I'm getting paid out of free movies, which is great. But yeah. Anyways. Well, guys, I actually think it's 1 o'clock. I think I'm going to get going. I'm still reeling from the head surgery I had, removing these cysts on my head. There was a big one on my back of my head and on top of my head. You can kind of see the scar there. And I'm just kind of, actually, they had to put me under with heavy anesthesia. So I'm kind of, even though it was 2 days ago, I'm still kind of groggy from that. And my stomach's kind of nauseous from that. So I'm still getting off of that. They told me that I'm going to need a lot of rest for the next few days, and I can feel it, man. I'm just drained. So I think I'm going to get going. I'm getting tired and feeling a little, honestly, I'm feeling a little nauseous. So I'm going to get going. But thanks, guys, so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I know it was late notice, very late notice. I know after midnight here, I'm sure it's after 1 o'clock wherever you are, or if you're on the East Coast, which most people who tune in are. So if you did tune in, thank you so much for staying up with me and opening up the Vinegar Syndrome boxes. And again, I believe they're being released next week. Definitely pick them up and keep an eyeball or two out for my comparison reviews. I'm probably going to get with I'm probably going to do Navy SEALs first, and then China O'Brien, because I'm kind of waiting for that China O'Brien Eureka 4K to hopefully I get that, and I'll be doing a 4K versus 4K comparison to that. But anyways, guys, thanks so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I'm going to get going. I'm hopefully going to be doing another live show Sunday night with a friend of mine, Reel to Reel Podcast. Just depends on how things go. But so keep an eye out for that. Follow me on my social media accounts, TikTok. I sometimes have early comparisons there. It's Paul_Twinflix, I believe. But anyways, everything is linked down below in the description. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Keep physical media alive, and we'll see you next time.